Bonjour students, welcome to day 2 of Lakudere Ojibwe College's preview week. Day 2 is all about learning about student resources, and we are also promoting highlights from the Culinary Arts program and the Agriculture and Natural Resource Management program. We're going to get today started with a virtual tour, and Shelby is going to play that now. Bonjour, welcome to the virtual tour for Lakudere Ojibwe College. Right when you walk in the door is our information desk, and at the information desk you can find out anything you need about accessing a classroom or where something might be located. Again, they're there throughout the day answering phones and just helping students. This is the Student Services Wing. Lots of staff here to help you in anything that you might need. Dean of Students to financial aid offices, work-based learning. There's a suite of offices here to the right that house the provost and the academic dean and the registrar's office. And around the corner, we have a science lab. The science laboratory here has classes for general chemistry, anatomy and physiology, microbiology, your animal biology, cell biology, and other science-related courses. As we continue down the hallway, we have our Pearson View testing site. So if you are taking GED courses, you can test here on our campus. And then at the end of this wing is the TRIO offices, TRIO and Student Success. So tutoring, there's Edie. Edie makes some wonderful banana bread. There's lots of treats in here usually. And we're entering the Learning Center in a non-COVID area. Lots of treats, lots of cappuccino, popcorn, lots of tutoring services. If you need any assistance, you stop in here and ask for some help. And down this hallway, we're going to be entering the Cultural Center. Down in the downstairs wing there's some GED classrooms and the boardroom. Here's the Cultural Center. Different artifacts, different meetings happen in this room, different ceremonies, set up for larger events. And we'll be entering the back way here of the library. So again, this is a library for students and also for community. So there's a children's section here. There's computers set up for students and community to access. You can do some printing. There's some really quiet space areas. There's a wigwam and fireplace. Just really nice to come in and relax. And down this wing is our Hall of Ancestors. So lots of photos. Lots of photos of tribal members from youth, infants, all stages of life. We're just passing our Native American Arts classroom, some other general classrooms. Again, many of these are set up for Zoom, so your instructor might be Zooming from this classroom to a classroom in Bad River or Red Cliff. Here's a general purpose classroom. Again, there's computers in those desks, so they just pop up. So you're able to come in there at any time there's not a class and go on the computers. And here is the atrium of our auditorium, so the James Pipe Mustache Auditorium. The auditorium here has many larger events, so it's our largest space on campus. It's a large screen. It also can house our archery team practice and other different events. So our campus is entirely connected. So each time there was growth, there was a new wing. So sometimes we refer to them by their wing number. So this would be the 400 wing. A lot of administrative offices here. There's also nursing labs, state-of-the-art nursing labs for our associate degree of nursing program. To the right here is our business office and bursar. Some other classrooms and offices for our marketing department, advancement, and our human resources. Here we have our 500 wing, and we have some other offices, our IT support. There are some classrooms here, so if you have speech or some of your English classes, they'll be in these classrooms. And then with a redesign, we have all of our faculty in offices along this on the right side. And as we turn the corner here. So if you're looking for your faculty, again, they have to have office hours each week, and this is where you'd find them. Welcome to the 600 wing. Here we have a small study lab, the Bucket-A Cafe. So if you're hungry, come in for some great lunch. The Student Commons area is a great place for students to hang out, study, relax, watch some TV. It also houses our extension offices.
Miigwech for watching. We hope to see you on campus very soon.
You students, my name is Mary Revoy Lopez. I am the Assistant Director and a Success Coach for the TRIO program. What is TRIO? Well, it's not an acronym. It's actually a series of programs developed by the federal government. The three are Upward Bound, Talent Search, and Student Support Services, which is what we offer here at LCO College. They were funded under the Higher Education Act of 1965, which means the federal government created these programs to assist disadvantaged students in overcoming class, social, and cultural barriers to higher education. Therefore, our focus is to ensure that students have a realistic chance to persist, graduate within 4 years with an associate degree or certificate, and we hope you transfer to a four-year institution to pursue a bachelor's degree. How do we do that? Well, we have what are called success coaches. So success coach, we have two success coaches at main campus, myself and Edith Diller. We have a success coach at our St. Croix site, Janine McNulty, a success coach at our Bad River site, Cody Big Boy Paulus. At Lac du Flambeau, it's Lisa Whitecloud, and at Redcliffe, it's Magdalene Dale. So what we're here to do is to help students who are first generation, which means neither parent received a bachelor's degree by the time you turned 18, or you're low income as defined by the federal government. And those are guidelines and paperwork that we can help you with, and or have a documented disability. What we do is we're here to help you with support, personal and academic support. Personal support, we're cheerleaders, we're, hey, you've been kind of on YouTube for a long time, let's refocus on some homework kind of thing. Time management. Academic support, tutoring in the general education classes, intro to higher ed, the sciences, the math classes, you guys. Also in editing and writing APA style papers, which if you're not used to that, it can be really confusing, and we're here to help with that sort of stuff. We also have a variety of other things we do, like enrichment activities, cultural activities, attending feasts and ceremonies, campus tour visits. Like I said, we're hoping you transfer. So say you want to go to UW River Falls, we'll take a trip there, that sort of thing. So we are here at TRIO in the back where you saw on the tour. Come down and visit. We also have a little bit of snacks and coffee which it's kind of hard to find snacks in your area sometimes. So we're here to support, be a friendly hello. Having a good day, come tell us. Having a not good day, come talk to us about it. So that's Trio. We have an email, trio@lco.edu. You can stop by and ask anybody where Trio is, and they will definitely point you in our direction. Thank you. Off to Wes.
Hello, everybody, and thanks, Mary, for sharing that great resource. I was actually a student here. I was a dual enrolled student, so I wore that hat, and then I was a college student, and then I completed that, and now I'm back at the college in this capacity, helping others, through this journey too. And one thing I just have to say is the college, we just have so many great resources that are just tucked away, and they're just wonderful resources. But that's what I'm here to hopefully share with some of you guys today, some of the wonderful, cool things that we have to offer. The first thing is the career services, and that's offered through work-based learning. And we can offer some coaching, we can offer paid internships, and then transfer assistance. So for internships, it's $10 an hour, it's up to 20 hours a week, and we can place you really where you'd like to go. The next thing is the academic services here. As Trio, Mary was speaking about Trio, they offer some tutoring. There's also a peer mentor program. And basically, that's just fellow students who want to study and want to help support other students. And so they'll kind of cluster together, they'll create a weekly group study in different topics, so things like math, science, writing, and computers, and they'll kind of study together. They also can do kind of individual appointments, so similar to tutoring, but a little bit more where you're both studying together, supporting each other rather than, this kind of expert dynamic there. There's also some great resources on Canvas. We have some 24/7 tutor software that will be, in Canvas and ready to use if you need to get tutoring at 3 a.m. That's definitely an option. There's also a laptop rental program through Student Success. We also have some other laptops that aren't part of Student Success. So no matter what, we've got you covered, and you can access that by just contacting the virtual help desk. We, also offer a lot of financial support because we know it's not easy. It's a sacrifice to be a student, to take this time out of your busy lives and make a commitment to school. And sometimes the finances, they can get in the way. So we do have a financial emergency aid program. And basically the concept of emergency aid is we know that sometimes life can happen. And so we have some funding tucked away to help with those immediate financial emergencies. That can cover up to $500 per academic year. And it can cover a lot of different, emergencies. So things like childcare, things like rent, things like utilities. Those are some of the bigger ones, auto repairs. So anyways, if you're interested in emergency aid, I would reach out to my email. It's wwilson@lco.edu. Otherwise, you can email emergencyaidfunding@lco.edu. We do have all of our information. We try to keep it up to date on the website. So if you visit the website too, it's financial aid, emergency aid, and you can get information that way as well. The minimum requirements are you have to be a degree seeking student. You have to have met a 2.0 GPA, and you have to be enrolled in at least half-time status, so 6 credits, which would basically be two classes or one really, really intense class. So anyways, another way we help financially is with college supplies. So we do understand that sometimes an expectation in college, you have to have notebooks and pens and flash drives, and we don't want those things to get in the way of you succeeding. So if you are in need of college supplies, please reach out to myself, Danielle, Brandy, any one of us in work-based learning will be more than happy to help you with that. We also can offer transportation assistance. So depending on your attendance at class, we know that sometimes the gas can even be a challenge. And so we have weekly gas cards we can give you to help you get back and forth from class. And then say you're riding transit to get to class too, we have transit tokens that we can give you as well. Yeah, so anyways, that is about
on the Lakota Reservation in northern Wisconsin. And I'm teaching life science and water resources. And I'm going to talk to you about some of the careers that you can have in biology, and tell you a little bit about what kind of degree programs we offer here to help you prepare for those careers. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm coming to you from our science laboratory, one of our science laboratories on campus, and I'll just zoom out a little bit so you can kind of get a little view of it. And we'll move the camera a little bit so you can see that. And I put a bunch of water sampling equipment out here on our table, so I'll tell you what some of that is for in a little while. Just a little teaser until we get rolling here. And the first thing I want to do is just tell you a little bit about myself and my careers and all the different hats I wear. So I'm going to share screen with you right now. There we go. And I put up a little PowerPoint presentation for you guys. So I called it Into the Wild because we're in biology and natural resources careers we're going to talk about. And many of those are outdoors for part of the year at least. And it just tells you a little bit about our college. I'm here at Lakota Ojibwe College, and I teach life sciences and water resources. Yeah, so let's see. Let me go to the next slide here. I'm going to just show you my career hats. So I'm a faculty member here at the college, and I teach a lot of different courses, mostly biology and water resources classes. I'm also a biologist, and I study life. And I'm a special type of biologist that just studies fresh water and freshwater living things. So I'm called a limnologist. And at one point in my life, I thought about becoming a marine biologist who just studies saltwater and ocean environments. But I grew up in the Midwest, and I actually grew up here in Wisconsin, and I'm not near any oceans, but I am by some really big Great Lakes and a lot of fresh water. And so that's what I decided to learn about and study. Okay, so some pathways to biology careers. A lot of entry-level jobs right out of high school. They're between $7 to $8 an hour. Maybe you can make a little bit more depending on where you're working. And a lot of those, if they're in the biology areas, many of those might be seasonal. Maybe helping to check boats at a lake for aquatic invasive species. Maybe helping out as an intern somewhere. With like the DNR maybe. Those are some of the more entry-level jobs that you could get with a high school education. If you went on and got an associate degree, which is a 2-year degree, most of those are offered through community colleges or colleges like ourselves here at Lakota College. We offer associate degrees as well as bachelor degrees. If you just got an associate degree, you could probably get a job as a technician or an assistant. And the careers you could get at that level are lab technician jobs, veterinary assistant jobs, park ranger jobs, biological technician jobs, or even GIS technician jobs. And GIS stands for Geologic Information Systems, which are computer mapping types of programs. If you went on and got a bachelor's degree, then you can get a little bit higher pay. And I just put a range there, $15 to $25 an hour, depending on what you work as. It might be your starting levels. And you could work as a biologist, a research assistant, a natural resources manager, senior lab technician, a teacher, environmentalist, forensic science person, or a conservation warden. All of those you can do with bachelor's degrees. And sometimes you can start out with an associate degree in those jobs and then work up as well. But you might have to get more education to go along with that. And then if you go to a university, you can get a bachelor's degree. And if you want to, you can go on to graduate school or professional school. And you can get jobs in advanced levels with a master's or a PhD degree. And those would be things like dentists and doctors and veterinarians, a faculty member like myself at a college, a researcher, maybe a director or manager of an agency, a consultant. Those are some of the more professional types of careers you can get in biology. So here at Lakudere Ojibwe College, we are going to try to get you started on that career path. And we offer associate degrees, which are in the science areas right now. So we have 2 associate degree programs here at our college. And if you want to check us out, I put our college website up here, and you can go to that website. And if you go to academic programs underneath the website, you'll get a little layout of each degree program we offer. And it will tell you what careers they have as an opportunity. It'll tell you a degree plan. And a degree plan is something that tells you what courses to take and when to take them to get your associate degree. So the 2 we have at our school are the Associate of Science in Science degree. It's got a biomedical sciences focus to it. And I'll show you why in a minute. And our other Associate of Applied Science degree we have is in Agriculture and Natural Resource Management. So I'm going to show you the next slide, which will show you our degree plan for Associate of Science in Science. So this tells you what classes you would get to take here. And they're college level courses. And like your first semester is a lot of what we call general education courses that give you your writing basis and your math basis. But in this particular degree, you get a year of general biology. And the first semester is general cell biology, genetics, and evolution with a lab. And the second semester is general animal biology and ecology with a lab. And then there's a plant science course you can take. And then your second year, we get you into like a year of general chemistry, 1 with a lab and 2 with a lab. And then you get a year of human anatomy and physiology. So you get human anatomy and physiology 1 with a lab and human anatomy and physiology 2 with a lab. And you also get a semester of microbiology. And then you can do a self-directed studies research project, which is an individual research project to give you some experience. So that's our science degree curriculum with our biomedical focus, because it's mainly geared to people who might want to do pre-vet or pre-dentist or pre-med or vet assistant, lab technician, those types of areas. And health and wellness types of coaching, that kind of stuff you can do with that degree. The second degree plan I put up here is Agriculture and Natural Resource Management. And this one also gives you that year of general biology, the cell biology, genetics, and evolution, and the general animal biology and ecology lab. It also starts you out with an intro to water resources class. And then after your first year, you can do a field methods and natural resources where you learn how to sample outdoors and do research projects outdoors. And you get to design your own as well. And we show you how to do that. And then your second year, you get first semester of general chemistry 1. With a lab, you can choose between earth science and environmental science. And then you can have an intro to geographic information systems with a lab and hydrology with a lab. And the hydrology course is what I call water accounting, how water moves and flows through our environment. And that's what all the sampling equipment we use in that class. We use that with the lab that goes with that class. And then your next semester or last semester would be like forestry and plant science. You can choose between those 2. You could choose between horticulture and fisheries and wildlife. That has a lab with it. And spring ethnobotany that has a lab with it. And those lab courses tend to be very popular courses. Everybody likes to do the hands-on activities. you know, with the fisheries and wildlife course with the lab, we go to the Lacoudere hatchery. We also do a field trip to the Red Cliff aquaculture demonstration visitors center up there. It's on the Red Cliff Reservation, but it's actually a state-run facility. So it's the Northern Aquaculture Demonstration Facility. It's a big, long word for that, but we go there also as part of that class. So, right, hopefully you can see me. And I'm going to show you this piece of equipment. It's called a Secchi disc. And let me just, yeah, thank you. So this one, if you were out in a boat and you wanted to check how clear your water is, you could just throw this over the side of the boat, and you can see the rope is kind of marked with little marks on it. And these marks are like every foot. So you could, there's 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, and you're looking over the side of the boat on the shady side. And when you can't see that Secchi disc anymore, then you know that's the depth that your water isn't clear enough to see down to. And it tells you a little bit about how clear your water is and how much algae you have in your water. Now, what if you wanted to get a water sample like halfway down to the bottom? I mean, you could like dive overboard and try to, you know, get to the bottom and get, you know, take a sample halfway and then get some sediment or something, but you'd get cold and you'd have to go diving and you'd have to, you know, do all that. So the easy way to do it is to use this thing. It's called a Van Doren water sampler. And basically what you do is it's got these two ends that you could connect up on top like that. And I'm going to just zoom in on it a little bit here so you can see it a little better. Oops. There we go. Okay. And then what you would do is this also has a rope on it that has marks on it that tell you how deep you're going to lower it. So like if you had a depth finder with you, you could just use that to find out how deep your lake was and what halfway down would be. Or you could even send something over to see where it hit the bottom and know how deep it would be. And then you could just throw this over the side. And then when you throw it over the side, and let's move this a little bit over so you can see a little bit better. I'm gonna just move this out of the way. We're gonna put this over the side of our boat. Then we're gonna send this big metal thing down. And you're gonna throw it down. And I don't know if I can get enough force from this distance, but there we do it. And now I got a water sample trapped in there from halfway down the lake. So that's what that one is called. We have another one that I probably won't demonstrate because it'll be tough to show you, but I'm just gonna lift it up for you. So if you had to get something from the bottom, then you would want to use this big metal thing. It's called an Ekman grab. And it works the same way as that water sampler did. You basically hitch up the sides of it. This. There we go. And I might be able to get it to trigger. You have to be kind of, but we would want to send this all the way down to the bottom sediment. And when it was touching the bottom sediments, then we would send this big metal, they call it a messenger, down. And we would try to trigger it from the boat by sending this down the rope. And my guess is I probably won't get enough speed with it just from this distance, but we'll give it a shot and see what happens. There we go, it's triggered. Now I got a whole bunch of sediment in there I can bring up to the boat, put in a bucket, and then find out what's in there. And if If you have a lot of living things living in the bottom, then you have good water quality. But if there's nothing there, or if it's all dead, then you have poor water quality, and there's not enough oxygen into the depths for those organisms. So that's another cool thing that we use to sample with. This is just a little scope thing that I'll show you. And you can look inside there, and then it kind of magnifies whatever you're looking at. And you'd look like, this would be like if you wanted to look in the stream or something and look at the bottom stuff and see what's moving around in there. So that would be for that. And then this one is kind of interesting. It's called a transparency tube. It's usually for river sampling. And you close the bottom of it, and then you fill it with water from your river. And then on the bottom of it, and we'll see if we can you see that little, let me see here. There we go. You see there's a little Secchi disc right on the bottom. Okay, so you're gonna put your water in here, fill it up. And then when you look inside here, you slowly let the water out until you can see the Secchi disc. And when you can see it, then you can tell how clear your water is. Okay, and that measurement will tell you your water clarity. And it's just like this one that we showed you before. It's just for a stream in a tube. So if you come to LCO College and you want to take some of these courses I've been talking to you about, I'd love to have you in class. I'd love to see you in some of our life science and water resources classes, and we'd like to have you here. So come and join us. Thanks.
I teach at culinary arts classes, and I'm also a member of the student services team here as the solution creator. And I'm just going to share a PowerPoint that I have about the culinary arts program. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. So I just have the college mission on here because it's kind of the basis for all of our programs here at the college. So our mission is to provide Anishinaabe communities with post-secondary and continuing education while advancing the language, culture, and history of the Ojibwe. So the certificate for the culinary arts is a year-long program. Students should have an interest in food prep, cooking, all that kind of stuff. The ability to adhere to stringent guidelines in food safety. Food safety is really important in this program and just cooking in general. So, you want to be interested in that and make sure that's kind of part of why you want to do this. And then commitment to quality customer service. Even if you are cooking in the back of the house of a restaurant, you still want to have customer service and keep that in the forefront of why you're doing it, because if you're cooking in a restaurant and the customers are coming in for that food, you want to make sure you're doing it for them and providing a good service. So this is the degree plan for the certificate. Like I said, it's a year long, it's 2 semesters, fall and spring, total of 30 credits. In the fall, you would take a business course, which is the introduction to hospitality industry. And then 2 of the culinary courses, which I teach, the food handling, food safety and sanitation, and then the intro to cooking methods course. And part of that is online, so that's why it says online on there. But we do a lot of that in person, a lot of field trips, a lot of guests coming in to talk. And then there's an English course, college writing, and then there's a sociology of food, culture, and society course. So that's what the fall semester looks like. And then if you pass all those courses in the spring, you'd have pantry fundamentals with me, protein selections and utilization, culinary fundamentals, and then the culinary internship, which students in the past have done through the cafe here. Otherwise, we could partner with a restaurant in the area. That is another option. So that would be a great way to get your foot in the door in a restaurant. And hopefully you could get a job with them when you're done with your certificate. The other course is a math for food industry professionals. and then Intro to Ojibwe Culture. So just have the program details on here, and this can be found on our website. All of this information can under the program or academic programs. So I'll just briefly kind of talk about this, but the program is designed to provide the student with knowledge and skills required for supervisory level work as a culinary professional. Graduates of the program will have completed training in advanced cooking, baking, and pantry methods, learning techniques in the production of hot and cold foods. So that would be in our pantry fundamentals course, and then as well as butchery, and that would be in the protein class, which we do a lot of work with meat and how to cut it properly. So learn a lot in there. And then the curriculum for the courses integrates sustainable agriculture, and then the culinary education, and then also traditional indigenous foods. So that's a big part of the program, and kind of why I stated the mission before. Learning about traditional Ojibwe foods and indigenous foods is a big part of it, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Healthy eating, stewardship of natural resources, and the importance of responsible harvest. So that's a really big part of the program, and trying to incorporate that, more and more. And we do some of our classes at the college farm. So that really ties into that with the natural resources and sustainable agriculture part of this program. So what to expect from this program? Like I said, it's 2 semesters, fall and spring, 30 credits. A really big part of it is learning from local chefs. They come here and we bring them into the classroom when we make meals with them. They'll show us some basic knife skills, or if they have a specialty, they'll teach you about that. We will also go to their restaurant and learn from them there. Last year we did a tour at a chef's restaurant, and he showed us around and how he operates. So it's a really great way to learn. Right here in our area, we have really great chefs. So that's a big part of the program. And then, like I said, we incorporate traditional indigenous foods. So we do a lot of cooking with wild rice, try and do some cooking with venison and fish. And we try to go out and harvest if we can. I'm not an expert in that area, but I try and bring in people who are, and we go out and then cook with that food when we're done. Another part is participating in like food expos and events, or going to conferences. With COVID, it was hard to do this, but the previous year we were able to go to a couple of events. And this picture is the culinary students at a Epicurean Award to Support Scholars event. That was through the American Indian College Fund. So we made wild rice crackers, and then had 2 different condiments. We made a cranberry salsa, and then we made a butternut squash hummus. And we actually used the squash from our college farm. So that was a really cool event for us to go to. And then there were 4 other chefs there from the Twin Cities area, and they use indigenous ingredients as well to make their dishes. So it was a really good experience for the students. They, got to bring the food that we made, and people got to walk around and try it and talk to the students about the program and what they're learning. So it was really cool. And they also got to learn a lot from the chefs that were there too, and kind of got to network. So it's a really good experience for them. And what can you do with this certificate? So working in a restaurant, that's, kind of an obvious one, but you could be a prep cook, line cook, and depending on the restaurant, you could be an assistant manager possibly, or a sous chef. So that's the step down from the head chef. But you could kind of be an assistant to them, help them with prep and cooking and planning menus. So it depends on the restaurant, what they're looking for, but you could be qualified to do any of those. The catering business, those are getting a lot more popular too. There's a few in this area that you could work for, or you could start your own. You have a lot of opportunity with this, and if you wanted to do something in it, or making your own business, we have a business program here too. So if you wanted to kind of do both, that would definitely be an option. Food truck, you could start your own. You could work for a food truck and kind of learn the ropes and then start your own. Those are getting very popular. especially with COVID, people kind of realize that, having something like that might be better because then you don't have to sit in the restaurant. You can get your food and go. So that's definitely an option. And then teaching ServSafe courses. So through the Culinary 101 course, you would get your ServSafe certificate. And then you can actually go on further and become certified to teach the course. And then you can do that kind of on the side and get paid for teaching those courses. You could work in school food service. So, making school lunches at our local schools, the public schools, K through 12. You could also be a manager of those, helping make the menu, ordering the food. So you would be qualified to do that. Or working in a hospital or assisted living facility in their food service department. So, again, kind of similar thing, making the food, helping plan the menu. And in those types of jobs, you really have to be careful with food prep, the food safety, all of that. You have to follow those rules really closely and make sure that's, making sure you're following that, because that's a really important part. And just a few highlights. Like I said, local chefs will come in and work with the class, teach them something, kind of specific that they know or their specialty. So this is Chef Chris Ray. He owns a catering business, and he came in to our classroom, and we made a shrimp etouffee, and it turned out great. And he taught some basic knife skills and some particular cuts for certain kinds of vegetables, which is really interesting. So it's great to have these local chefs here who are so knowledgeable and can help our students learn. And then this was the other event we went to with the students. So like I mentioned, we went to the one in the Twin Cities, and then this Eats event was in Denver. So we actually got to fly to Denver. We were there for a couple of days. This time the students didn't make any food because it was hard for us to try and bring it on the plane, but there were 4 chefs at that event as well. So each of the students got to partner with one of the chefs that were there and got to help them throughout the whole event, help them serve, learn from them. So it was really, really great opportunity for them. And then we had our own table set up with information. So we got to network with other people who are attending the event. And it was all about Indigenous foods. So again, the students got to learn a lot about that. And then this is another highlight. Like I said, incorporating the Indigenous foods and Ojibwe culture. So we went wild ricing this fall a couple of times, and it's really important to learn the other side. So we get to cook with the food, but learning about where we actually get it from and how do we get it sustainably. So we went wild ricing, and it was really fun. We had a great day. The picture on the left is our wild rice after we brought it back and cleaned it up. And that was just really fun. And I think it's really important for everyone to kind of, learn how we get our food and the best way to get it. And I think that is all I have. If anyone ever has any questions for me, feel free to reach out. My email is eberger@lco.edu. And my extension is 142 at the college.
All right, thank you everybody for coming to our Tuesday college preview day. We appreciate your attendance, and make sure to register or get the registration information from your instructor, teacher, so that you can potentially win a prize. If you have any other questions or concerns, again, feel free to reach out to your instructor or teacher. They'll get it to us, and then we'll do our best to get answers to you. All right, be good.